Goswami with us on the broadcast. Arnab, the entire nation has been waiting to hear from you. What is your sentiment right now? What do you want to say to the West Bengal government after what the judge said in today's, after what the judge said today, and what is your message to the entire country?
Well, thank you, Suesha. I saw the entire proceedings in the court, and I must say I'm full of admiration for the judge for coming to the core issue. The state of West Bengal tried its very best to confound the issue by talking about technicalities. And what it tried to argue was that regardless of the facts, regardless of the fabrication, regardless of the truth, they have a right to investigate. And they tried to say that therefore they have the right to put our reporter in jail for as long as they wish to. Now the core issue was there a crime? What we did was that we showed the entire tapes of that purported incident before the court. And when we showed the tape, the judge watched it extremely keenly, many times over, and came to the conclusion, essentially, the core fact, what he called was a ground reality, was that there was no offense. There was no question of molestation, and therefore all the charges, 354, 504, whatever had been put, about 8 sections had been used against our reporter Shantupan, were not just wrongly put, that they were frivolous, they were not good in law, and that the video does not really prove any claim. That there was no evidence in the tapes that we had shown to prove any claim. The Mamata Banerjee government was very surprised that the Republic Media Network team had come very strongly prepared. And the Mamata Bandyopadhyay government argued that if there was nothing, why would only the Republic journalists be arrested? And then the court asked him satirically that is this a basic argument that all the journalists of the state have to be arrested for the court to take any action? The simple point that I'm trying to make, that in the course of that almost 2-hour-long hearing that went on today in the Honorable Calcutta High Court, it was made absolutely evident to everyone that there was a strong element of malice and malafide in the actions of the police. When we use the word malafide, at that point of time, the Honorable Prosecution Advocate stood up and he said, well, how can you prove malafide on the part of the complainant? At which time the court, Honorable Judge himself intervened, and that was also our point, that the malafide was against the state, that the malafide in a sense was against the police. It was the police which was trying to preclude the the essential investigation, and it was the police which was trying to prove that what is inherently absurd is a claim. Now in all of this, there is a very long and very big lesson which I think the media must draw from this. What have Republic been arguing? What has Republic been arguing? Now the point here is that the problem with many of these politicians is that they believe that since they are people who believe that they're custodians of the law, they come to the conclusion that they are the law. Now the point is that they are not the law. Suppose I am a lawmaker, I cannot make the argument that because I see myself as the lawmaker, it is up to my subjective interpretation of the law to decide which provision to implement, which provision not to implement. And hence in common law, you cannot take this view that even if there is something which is wrong, if there is something which is absurd, if there is something which is false, you have the right to take away the liberty of an individual under the argument that you are trying to assess the level of absurdity of the case. And therefore, what comes across is that there is a case of non-application of mind. Now, why would the police not apply its mind to the facts of the case? The police says that even if, and this is a very important point in law, the police says that even if we have not done any preliminary investigation, if we have not done any preliminary examination of the facts, regardless of what the facts are, regardless of the fact that I have not done any investigation, regardless of the fact that I have not got any evidence, regardless of the fact that I have nothing to back my claim, regardless of the fact that I do not even have recorded testimonies put together well before me, regardless of the fact that I have not given the opposite side, the accused, the right to present their point of claim, regardless of the fact that I have not got under 65B of the Evidence Act any facts before me, which can be seen to be giving the accused the right to put their point of view before me. Regardless of this and everything else, I have the right to arrest anyone at free will. Now the essential argument there is absurd, because then what you're arguing for is a police state. And that is the sad part of what happened in court today, because the Mamata Banerjee government was basically arguing for the right to implement a police state. And they tried to say that if anybody alleges anything against anybody else in the course of an investigation, nothing will stop me from picking and choosing one particular side. And that is the basic mistake of Team Mamata in court today. They had no argument, and they basically tried to hold on to that, what would I say? I would call it the last straw argument that I am compelled to investigate. Now, you're not compelled to investigate a murder which has not happened. You cannot kill someone and then say, I'm investigating a murder. It's a stupid argument. And that is the kind of argument which Mamata team, with the greatest of respect to them, put forth in the proceedings of the Honorable Calcutta High Court. And I think that what my lesson from all of this is that the attempt of the Mamata government was to sort of, create some kind of a precedent, because they must be under some pressure. They must be under some pressure from their political masters to make an example of Republic Bangla. But what has actually happened, and I feel sorry for them, is that they've actually made an example of themselves. They are looking foolish. They have been completely exposed, as far as I understand, before the people. And I would also like to make the point that the High Court made a series of very strong observations against Mamata Banerjee, and all her falsehoods were essentially laid bare in the course of that hearing. In fact, at one point of time, and this is going to go down in the annals of legal history, where the High Court said that I feel sorry for the police. Now, imagine how major a statement that is, that if the court is saying that I feel sorry for the police, if the court is saying, how do you justify the tick on the arrest memo? If the court is saying, how do you justify not complying with 41A? If the court is saying, have you not forgotten what happened of the terrorism that was unleashed after the elections? If the court is saying to the Mamata government, have you already heard the statement of the victim lady? I feel sorry for the police officers here. If the court is saying, and I heard all this in court, so I have it at the back of my mind, if the court is saying that you have nabbed an innocent journalist here, the real culprits are free. And that is the sum total of what happened in court today. That the real culprits are free, there's an innocent journalist, and the culprits are still making a mockery of the entire system. These are very, very, very strong observations. Always we are told, look at the sum total of the order. And I say I agree with them for that when they say that, okay, the end of it, you got bail, the investigation was stayed. But I think there's a very big message here. And the message is when the court said, I am fully aware of the ground reality of Sandesh Khali. And I bow before the Honorable Court when he said that. Because you see, and I'd say this to the viewers, these politicians think that viewers don't know. The politicians think that the people don't know. The politicians think that the media don't know. But what they're dealing with is a very different animal out here. What they're dealing with is the Republic Media Network. What they're dealing with is a very different media here. The Republic Media Network. We know our rights. We've been through trial of fire. We understand evidence. We understand prosecution. We understand flaws. We understand the system. And nobody knows better than us what the due process of law is. So Mamata Banerjee, don't try to teach me the due process of law. In fact, I said on my Bangla channel that Mamata Banerjee should do a long meeting today. And Mamata Banerjee should sit there in her office and assess for herself why she failed here today. And someone, if she's Mamata Banerjee's well-wisher, should tell her that, Madam, you failed because we lied. Madam, you failed because we made up a case. Madam, you failed because we are the police, we can make any case. And people like DGP Rajiv Kumar are giving Mamata Banerjee the wrong impression. That even through the system of lies and fabrication and falsehoods and repeated lies and repeated fabrications, they will win. But this is a big loss of face for Mamata Banerjee, big loss of face for a regime. And it is giving a lot of hope for the media in Bengal. And finally, my last word is to the media in Bengal. We must all have a spine. Many of you have been compelled, many journalists in Bengal have been compelled to fall in line because there's a sense of fear that there's a series of symbiotic dependence. As far as the Mamata Banerjee government is concerned, to all those journalists, I want to say, break free. To all those managements of those media networks, I would say, break free. Cut off the line of interdependence, rediscover your voice, and grow a spine all over again. So it's a long intervention to your question, but I'm very passionately involved in this case. And I believe that after what happened in Maharashtra, this has been the next big win for the Republic Media Network. So over to you, Suesha and Niranjan. Thank you very much.
Arnab, there's one more question, Arnab. Arnab, you forgot to, Arnab, just one second, because, if you spoke about the lessons and the takeaways from this, and the biggest lesson sitting, from different newsrooms in different cities across India, the biggest lesson is looking at the Republic Bangla team and the way they fought, Arnab. A word for them, do your job and do it damn well in a way that nobody can ever stop you from reporting the truth. And how many years, Arnab, they've been facing FIRs after FIRs. What a team. When they were celebrating today, that energy.
Yeah. I tell you one thing, Niranjan. I'm so proud of the Republic Bangla team. I'm proud of each one of you for what you've done, for your contribution to Indian journalism, for your daily fight. I'm especially proud of the Republic Bangla team because it's a very hostile situation in which they operate. And so my hat's off to them. I think I see their Kishalaya there, right, Ishan? I'd like them to say something. But they know how proud I am of them. And they know how sweet today's victory is. Isn't today's victory very sweet and particularly sweet? My question to you. My question to my Republic Bangla team, isn't today's victory particularly sweet?
Well, exactly, Arnab. We have worked relentlessly. We have worked relentlessly to establish the truth, to establish the facts as they are. And me and Ishan here, along with all our journalists and all our fraternity here, Republic Bangla family, we wish to tell to the whole world and to the whole nation that today truth is being vindicated. Today the facts are being vindicated. And our fight, our relentless fight to establish the fact in spite of facing hostile situations is today established by the Honorable Court, and we will not bow down to any kind of pressure, isn't it, Ishan?
Of course, Kishalay, because we were standing in an eyeball to eyeball situation with the system which is being run by TMC here, and we did not bow down. We fought till the last stand. The justice and now the justice prevails in Kolkata High Court. And what kind of lame excuses was being given by the government of West Bengal in High Court? That proves that how strongly we were holding our ground, and still we are holding our ground. Because the West Bengal government at last being completely helpless, they were making a submission like so many journalists are going there to Sandesh Khali. We haven't arrested anyone. We have arrested only one. And the justice was also taken aback at this submission. He was asking, is it a point to make in front of a court, in front of a higher judiciary, that only one journalist has been arrested, and that's why if that journalist alleges any foul play, then that allegation has no base. This is a point to make. This is a submission. So this is the helpless situation which has been exposed by Republic Bangla and of course by the higher judiciary in West Bengal also. So this is a very emotional moment for us. This is a victory for us, and this is a victory for the whole media fraternity who believe in free press. I feel so.
I'll just say one thing here, Arnab. You always encouraged us. You always encouraged us to fight in situations where things are tough and where things are hostile. Taking that inspiration from you and looking at your fight, today in the court, in fact, it was mentioned about how you were framed by the Maharashtra government at that point of time, and how you came out victorious. And our vindication reminds us of that fact, that truth always prevails, Arnab. Truth always prevails, and always we fight for the voice of the people and for the truth, Arnab.
Thank you to both of you. Truly, respect your sentiments there. But one thing I would say, many battles ahead, many more victories ahead as well. Over to you, Niranjan now.